Hi, everybody. Welcome to Healthy Minds Innovations Guided Meditation today. My name is Stephanie Wagner. I'm a trainer and program specialist for Healthy Minds Innovations, and I'm so happy that you have decided to practice with me today. As we're getting ready to get started here, I would love to hear from you in the chat box if you'll share with me where you live, as well as maybe a word that describes how you are feeling today. So here we are. We are practicing every Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And I want to just share with you a little bit about who we are at Healthy Minds Innovations for those of you that might not be familiar. We are a nonprofit that is affiliated with a research institution at the University of Wisconsin-Madison called the Center for Healthy Minds. And what we do at Healthy Minds Innovations is we take the scientific insights coming out of the center and we translate these insights into tools to help people both cultivate as well as measure well-being. We have an app called the Healthy Minds Program. That's a step-by-step training program for your mind. Helps you to train your mind and skills associated with resilience, our capacity to bounce back from challenges, and it is freely offered due to the generosity of our donors. We have a unique framework of well-being that's called the Healthy Mind Framework that has 4 different areas that feature skills that are both trainable as well as science links them to be beneficial to well-being. And these 4 dimensions of well-being are awareness, connection, insight, and purpose. And we have been focused for the past 2 weeks on awareness. And so we are going to continue the theme of awareness today. So within the area of awareness, within the Healthy Minds framework, there are a couple of skills that we train. So we train mindfulness, we train attention, and we train self-awareness. And so what we're going to do today is we are going to work on training attention, which can be really useful for many reasons. So one metaphor that I think can be helpful to describe attention is the flashlight of the mind that's being directed on something specific in our experience. And attention is always being directed towards something, but usually it's the result of habit or impulse. But the good news is that we can actually train the mind to pay attention on purpose. Now, when we think about attention, we usually just think about it as being one thing, but there are some nuances within attention that we're actually doing when we're training the mind in attention. So one of the nuances is that we're able to direct attention on purpose. This means we willfully pay attention to something in our experience, maybe something like our breath, our sensations in the body, something in our environment. Another nuance to attention is our capacity to sustain attention, which means the ability to remain focused over time. And then the third nuance is to notice the pull of distraction. So notice when our mind wants to wander, and then we can willfully redirect our attention or resist the pull of distraction. So lots of different benefits here too, and nuances of working with attention. The other thing that we can do with attention that I'm not going to so much focus on today is that we can relax our attention, and this would be something that we're doing in a skill or a practice like open awareness. But we will not work on that today. So this is sort of what we're going to do during our practice today. I'm going to direct you to pay attention to certain aspects of your experience. We'll do body, breath, and environment. And then I'll invite you to notice those moments when there's this pull of distraction and you get to make a choice, right? So you can redirect, kind of reconnect with awareness. And that's what we will do during our practice today. We'll practice for about 20 minutes or so. And again, if you haven't had a chance to introduce yourself in the chat box, please let me know where you live. I'd love to know who's practicing with me today. So let's go ahead and settle in. Find yourself in a comfortable position. You can be lying down on a meditation cushion or even in a chair. And if you're going to be sitting in a chair, you may want to place your feet on the floor and your hands in your lap. And you can choose to practice with your eyes open or your eyes closed. And take a couple of slow, deep breaths. On the out breath, allow the mind and body to relax. And see if you can let go of any of the doing energy from today and allow yourself to settle in and simply be. And take a moment to connect with your motivation. Why is it that you've chosen to train your mind in this way? Take a moment to reflect on that. And then see if you can also widen that intention to include others so that you're not just practicing for your own benefit and your own well-being, but that you're practicing to benefit the well-being of others as well. Okay, so let's begin by working with attention and directing our attention to different parts of our body. So go ahead and pay attention to any sensations that you're noticing in your face. You might notice sensations in your forehead or your jaw, even those tiny muscles around your eyes. And see what you notice when you pay attention to those muscles in your face. What's happening in the muscles in your face? Down to notice sensations in your shoulders, in your chest, and your belly. Whatever is happening here in this part of your body is welcome. You might notice the feeling of the chest and the belly rise and fall with the breath. You might notice tension in the shoulders, simply allowing the experience to be and to be aware of what's happening in the body. And then direct your attention to your seat and the feeling of being supported wherever you're seated or lying down. Notice that feeling of being connected to a surface that might be hard or soft. Notice what that sensation feels like. And now bring your attention down to your feet and notice the sensations in your feet. That feeling of being connected to the earth, or any other sensations that you might notice in the soles of your feet. And now we're going to spend a little bit of time working with the breath. So bring your attention to the breath, simply knowing that you're breathing naturally. And so here we're going to work on sustaining tension and noticing the pull of distraction. So simply be aware of the breath. Be aware that you're breathing. Breathing naturally. And notice the tendency of the mind to be pulled to something else, whether it's getting caught up in thoughts, emotions, your to-do list. And if you're still connected to awareness, that's great. Remain connected to awareness of the breath. But if you have gotten distracted, disconnected from awareness, return your attention back to being with the breath. And if for some reason the breath doesn't feel great for you today, maybe it's triggering some anxiety or something, return your attention back to working with the body. You most likely will only be able to remain attentive and aware of the breath for a few moments before you get lost, and that is completely normal. You can redirect your attention back to the breath in those moments when your mind has wandered. You may find that your mind is quite active, lots of thoughts, or maybe it's still. Whatever is happening is okay. But are you paying attention to your breath? Using the breath as the support for our awareness. This practice of getting lost and coming back, and getting lost and coming back is what we're doing here. We're training the mind to reconnect with awareness. This will happen short times, many times throughout your practice. Okay, let's redirect our attention now to sounds in the environment. Notice whatever sounds are happening. Might be the sound of my voice, the ventilation system, cars going by. Becoming aware that you are hearing. And there's no need to focus on any one particular sound in the environment. You can simply know that you're hearing, being open and receptive to any sound that's happening in your environment. And if there's no sound, be with that. And where's your mind? Where's your attention? Notice that. You can reconnect with awareness, redirect attention, sounds, and continue training your mind in this way for the next few moments. Even if you're only able to remain connected to awareness of sound for a few short moments, it's okay. Each moment you recognize that you're lost, it's success. You've reconnected with awareness. And so we'll do one last part of our practice here, and we'll redirect our attention to the sense of sight. If your eyes are closed, you can experiment with opening them, or notice the play of light, color on the inside of your eyelids as your eyes are closed. Alternatively, opening your eyes, bring awareness to what you see in your field of vision. Becoming aware that you're seeing. Notice the shape, color, and form of those objects in your environment, in your field of vision. There's this sense that you know that you're seeing. No need to label or judge any of the things in your field of vision. You just know that you're seeing. Do this for another moment. Notice pull of distraction. And then you can let go of paying attention to anything in particular and allow the mind and body to rest for a final moment here. Not paying attention to anything in particular, not lost. And if your eyes have been closed, you can open your eyes. Come out of the practice. All right, I invite you to share maybe something about your practice today, something you noticed. Perhaps there was an aspect that felt easier. Maybe you noticed your mind was very active or still. Whatever was happening, I would invite you to share in the chat. And as you're doing that, let me just recap with you what we did today. We were working with the skill of attention. At the very beginning, I was systematically inviting you to direct your attention with intention to different parts of your body, noticing sensations. And then we worked with sustaining our attention on the breath, this light, natural, relaxed knowing that we're breathing. We also worked with the pull of distraction, noticing the tendency of the mind to want to disconnect from the breath. And then we come back again. And then we opened ourselves up to working with the senses. Similarly, sustaining attention, redirecting attention, noticing the pull of distraction, and returning attention back to what we were using as our anchor or our support practice. So this can be a really, really useful skill. It can help us be intentional about what we're focused on, can help us resist the distraction of things like social media, the news, helping us to remain more focused on what we're working with or a conversation that we're having with a coworker, family member, or friend. So really a lot of benefits to training in the skill of attention. I look forward to being with you next week once again. If you want to learn more, you can check out the Healthy Minds program app. You can also check out our website. I am extremely excited. We are offering our first ever virtual Healthy Minds retreat that will be led by Portland Dahl and myself on healthy relationships. And when we talk about cultivating healthy relationships, the skills associated with healthy relationships, we're not pointing to exclusively romantic relationships. Our lives are filled with relationships. Our relationship to ourselves, our relationship to friends, family, coworkers, and we'll be focused on skills that help us to sort of nurture these healthy connections in our lives. So that's going to be happening in the mid part of February. So please check out the link in the chat. You can also check out the learning opportunities on our website, hminnovations.org. And I look forward to being with you next week. We will do another practice on a different skill associated with awareness. So looking forward to being with you then.